This is Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
Oh, I think they're doing a great job. A lot of them are.
Good afternoon, Dwayne. How are you?
Not too bad, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Radio Cayman's Talk Today with Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
But I do have some questions.
There are more questions than answers.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. If you're ready to talk, we're willing to listen.
Well, I really enjoy this program today.
Cayman Islands foremost listeners participation program.
May God bless every person.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome, and thank you for joining us. It is indeed a wonderful Wednesday as we invite you to be a part of today's edition of Talk Today. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
Talk Today is brought to you by Fidelity Bank. For all your banking needs, visit fidelitygroup.com. Fidelity, we're good for you.
Also brought to you by greenturtle.ky. Take a ride on the Green Turtle Express today. Download the Green Turtle app. The future of mobile. Saving lives today. Radio Cayman's Talk Today, the Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program. We ask our listeners to avoid statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use any indecent language or make any statement which is false or misleading. Email talktoday@candw.ky or call 1-800-534-8255. Courtesy of Flow.
Cayman's #1 network that connects you to your world like never before.
Let your voice be heard. Once again, here's your host, Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. Wow, it's only Wednesday. I already feels like it's December. 8949-8037 or 1-800-534-8255. We always invite you to share with us and be a part of a discussion. Honored to welcome the President of the Cayman Islands Civil Service Association, Mr. John Bothwell, and hopefully the Honorable Deputy Governor as well. Mr. Bothwell, sir, good afternoon to you.
Afternoon, Dwayne. Thanks for having me on.
Okay, man. Well, I hope you get to go fishing, As I say, fishing.
No. Unfortunately, I would have to drag to the boat and get on with somebody outside my family. So, not the safest of steps right now for the other person involved.
So fish. I'll tell you what.
Let's keep talking to family via Zoom, I'm afraid.
Man, you don't realize the things you miss until you miss the things that you realize, no?
Well, yeah, it has been quite a reminder how much everybody has been back out in the water right away. First in Cayman Brack and now here, as soon as they were able to.
No, seriously, I trust and pray everybody continues to be safe and well, and you, your family, and your colleagues, your neighborhood, and all of us indeed. Sincerely pray that we all are safe here and everywhere. If I may though, we work for some people, and I say this carefully and mindfully, and perhaps sometimes not even realizing fully, but we are doing our part to be as safe, to exercise, proper hygiene and etiquette. But there is work that is continuing in order for those of us who are not necessarily out and about as much as we would want or perhaps would have normally. And I take with great respect just the civil service component, all of the things that have always and are continuing to go on in the background, the things that we never really see as a country. And somehow it's that thing that happens continuously. So it is commendable to see a very, very dedicated, diligent, committed, and competent civil service.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, and that's been one of the things that we've had to try to impress on members, and as the wider civil service community, that for some people right now their job is staying home, or part of their job is to stay home. That they can work from home is a great thing, and as much as stressful as that can be for the people who are stuck doing it, in some situations, it's a way of helping the country by getting your job done from home. So that has been a a big thing. But of course now, as time goes on, it's really important that people keep repeating that message, because like I said, everybody wants to get out and about, but if it's not necessary that you go out, it's still for the best that people stay in as much as possible to try and follow government's goals for dealing with this pandemic here.
Social distancing is crucial for our community to get back to normal. And never before has communication been so crucial. Keeping in touch with family, friends, and up to date requires you to stay in touch. Green Turtle offers the solution for both. Download the Green Turtle app now. Top up yours or a loved one's phone with any mobile carrier in any destination in Cayman. Phones delivered to your home, and with the new rewards program, you can even redeem points towards a new phone and other products. Download the Green Turtle app today. Green Turtle is not only the future of mobile, but today it can help save a life. Hashtag Stay Home Cayman. Take a ride on the Green Turtle Express today. Download the Green Turtle app. The future of mobile, saving lives today.
Obey the laws and wear the gauze. Protect your jaws from septic paws. Stay clean, Cayman, with hand sanitizer from $3.25, 10 surgical masks for $9.99, and 2 packs of KN95 masks for $6.99. Wholesale pricing available at all 5 Liquor for Less locations: Shedden Road, North Church Street, Savannah, Northside, and the McClendon Drive Airport location. Don't miss the incredible lockdown price markdown and manager specials exclusively at Liquor for Less. Hundreds of fine, starting from cases of ice cold below wholesale prices, and save $9 off liters. Prices so low we can't say it on the radio. Liquor for Less enforces the wearing of masks and social distancing while in store, and encourage other preventative measures to help stop the spread of COVID-19, such as consistent hand washing and only leaving home for essential purposes.
I've got some beautiful clothes. I know just where they go. Puritan Cleaners.
We are open. Visit Puritan Cleaners drive-through off Eastern Avenue, 8 a.m. till 3 p.m., Monday to Saturday. Our Elgin Avenue and Savannah locations will remain closed. However, your items can easily be transferred to Eastern Avenue. Just call us at 949-7104. That's 949-7104 with your request. Puritan Cleaners. You feel good when you look good.
Home, which should be a haven, can even be less of a safe space during curfew if someone is experiencing child abuse. If you or anyone you know is being abused, help is nearby. For emergencies, call 911. They will redirect your call to the relevant agencies. For general guidelines and inquiries, call the Multi-Agency Safeguarding Hub, MASH, at 1-800-534-2273 or 945-0545. Alternatively, email mash@gov.ky.
Super Stitch Sewing and Fabric Center, your one-stop household store at 39 Pasadora Place, Smith Road, is now open for deliveries. Open Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. and on Saturdays, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Still offering the best prices in town. Call 949-2833 or go to superstitch.com.ky. Super Stitch for your deliveries.
The public is reminded that beach access will be allowed using the last name protocols strictly for exercise, including swimming. The hours for exercise have been extended to 2 hours each day between 5:15 a.m. to 7 p.m. daily. Shoreline fishing and fishing by boat are allowed, but limited to 2 persons per boat. Strata pools can be used for swimming, and tennis courts can also be used, but are limited to members of a single household or a maximum of 2 persons with social social distancing maintained. Also, public buses can operate. However, seating must be staged in such a way that each passenger is able to distance as far as possible from the other passengers and driver. All residents must wear face masks or other face coverings while taking public transportation, inside buildings or other public places. For more information and to view the new regulations in full, go to www.gov.ky/coronavirus.
For nearly 20 years, King Sports Center has been the heart of the Cayman fitness and wellness community. In order to ensure the welfare of all, we are temporarily closed until further notified by the Cayman Islands government that it is safe to reopen. During these trying times, we encourage everyone to maintain a healthy lifestyle, mind, body, and soul. We look forward to continuing providing you with world-class service in the very near future. Remain strong and continue to show the world the power of Cayman unity. King Sports Center, your one-stop shop for fitness, recreation, and relaxation.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners' participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome back, and thank you for joining us. Special, thanks to Mr. John Bothwell as the president of the Cayman Islands Civil Service Association, and to him and to our listeners. Ms. Susan is incredible, and she does a remarkable job in making sure the little technology glitches don't always hinder us. So apologies to that. And thank you so much in a second. And as we continue, with our programming, we'll share with our listeners that at 1 p.m., our friends from DCFS, including the Community Development Officer on the Cayman BRAC, Ms. Julianne Scott, will join us together with Cherie Barnes. Get a chance to really engage. In 1:30, of course, we'll have some open line onwards. Now, the Legislative Assembly is in session, and we invite you to multitask, to greatest respect, to do as best as we can to pay attention, especially to when the parliamentarians are in this assembly. Mr. Bothwell, again, sir, thank you, and our apologies for that little technical glitch. But that only highlights, I guess, the increasing. If I use the word stress and it's not inappropriate, let me know. But the stress and that we have the adaptations we have to make now to this new sort of working environment we all seem to find ourselves.
You're absolutely right, Dwayne, and also my thanks to Susan as well for getting us back connected. But you're right, it does exemplify stress is the right word, the stress that everyone is under. I mean, the way that the Government Computer Services Department stepped up and got so many more civil servants online and working remotely in the space of days to a week or two, really phenomenal. I know a lot of other IT departments around the country have to do the same thing, around the world even. But, we did it. And as Susan has shown, a lot of civil servants were working with the technology we have. We're making it work in sometimes more than it was ever really designed or expected to, and just continue to get the job done. And that's something I think that our country can be really proud of, what the members of our civil service have been doing, taking equipment and processes that were designed to work a certain way and adapting them on the fly and making sure they work for what's happening now, but at the same time trying to make sure that no member of the public is left behind. Because one of the things that we often forget is, as we rush to move everything online now, for example, we do have members of the public, our customers, who that doesn't work for them for one reason or another. And so we still have to have those processes in place that people who can't get to us online, who can't make their payments online, kind of particularly, can still get their government processes done, or, as we've seen with many government departments, finding ways to extend licenses, etc., calling it whatever we want, to make things keep working for the public who, through no fault of their own, just can't get stuff done now at this time as they normally would. So yeah, it's really been quite exemplary to see how the civil service has stepped up and continues to get things done, but still done right.
Indeed, indeed. Well, Mr. Bothwell, we do have the Honourable Deputy Governor join us as well. Good afternoon, sir. How are you?
Good afternoon, and apologies for being late. As you know, our Parliament is in session right now, so I'm attending that by Zoom, and I didn't want to miss the opportunity to express my condolences on behalf of the civil service to the family of Miss Olive, who passed away last evening. And I think all members of our Parliament has expressed their condolences, and I did so on behalf of the civil service. I think we're all going to miss Miss Olive and her passion and her love for our beloved Cayman Islands. But I do want to thank Mr. Bothwell for all the comments that he made about the civil service, and just to say that certainly this is one of my proudest moments as Deputy Governor, is seeing how the civil service has stepped up and has been able to adapt and innovate and be agile in responding to the COVID-19 epidemic. So thank you, Mr. Bothwell, and everyone in the civil service for what they're doing to keep business continuity going and to serve our customers.
Mr. Bothwell?
Yeah, no, nothing. When the Deputy Governor says stuff like that, there's nothing to add to it. It's absolutely
yeah. I mean, you know, always two hands to clap, and as Honourable Deputy Governor just highlighted, the fact that the country today, you know, expresses collectively our condolences, you know, to Miss Olive's family. We are celebrating an exemplary lady. Just, and I look at it, not just her involvement early days with the girls brigade, but in latter years, going out to visit people, you know, the little group that she was part of, they'll come pick her up. And these, respectfully, were senior citizens. Miss Olive was as active as any. Okay, when she was unable to drive herself, she looked eagerly for when the other ladies would come and collect them and they would go visit. So when I think of that, and I share that to kind of remind us that we all have an incredible part to play. And I guess when you say that, the role is called up yonder, you know, how will we receive, what legacy will we leave here as we look to glory beyond? So, Mr. Manderson, I say, you know, I join you in being equally proud of a fantastic society, but an amazing, you know, civil service as it is.
Yes. It is. It has been really, to carry on for what I was saying, I mean, just an hour ago, I had the pleasure of swearing in about 25 new citizens. Normally that would have been done downstairs in the big conference room on the first floor. We were able to do that over Zoom. So that was quite interesting to have a swearing-in ceremony done over Zoom. But also, you know, my staff have been able to process hundreds of applications while they've been at home. I've seen similar performance from our planning department. I've seen similar performance from our staff at work, who has processed over 1,000 work permits, you know, in the last month, again from home. It has really been, you know, like I said, a very proud moment to see how the civil service has adapted to this. This morning, I opened the National Hazard Management Council meeting in getting ready for our hurricane season. Again, that was attended by, I think, almost 100 persons from our other overseas territories. And again, you know, we're having a hurricane exercise done by Zoom, being done electronically. You know, things that we would never have thought possible, we have been able to achieve. So I think that you know, it's been amazing, actually.
Indeed. Well, Mr. Manderson, if I could ask, because you said earlier the agility and innovativeness of the civil service. How are you guys installing the hurricane shutters by Zoom, though? I'm just checking.
Sorry, I can't hear you too well. How
are you able to install the hurricane shutters? Do all the shuttering by Zoom?
Yes. I don't think we've been able to do that as yet. We're probably not that good, but you know, give us some time. You know, we can be there. And I want to just give a thanks to Mr. Bothwell too and his team at the Civil Service Association for all the support that they have been given as well. It's been a really great team effort. People ask me what is the biggest complaint that I get. So the biggest complaint that I get right now is from civil servants who wants to come back to work. They are anxious to come back, to be in the office with their colleagues and face our customers and greet them. But we've had to tell them, listen, be patient, continue to work from home. Your safety is important to us. The safety of our customers is as important. So when the government eases, restrictions, then we can look to come back to work in a phased approach. But for right now, please be patient and continue to be at home and to take care of yourself and your families.
Yeah. Oh, Mr. Madison, and forgive me, Mr. Bothwell, but if I could just ask, in sincerity, as you talk about the civil service being very agile and innovative, I don't think many people in the private sector, with great deference to them, sometimes appreciate that. Could then some of these positives that we're seeing, even though we experience in the environment now, probably not as receptive in some cases as we would like to be, the notion of when we do go forward, could we emerge, say, remote working, perhaps equally working from a perspective where the telecommuting that we're experiencing now could be the mainstay. In particular, you were talking about planning, and then we know that we have the third-party plan reviews that have been undergoing for quite some time. Are there things that the civil service could be doing where they're remote working from home, say, X days a week, and then the remainder of the days potentially in the office, whether it's a 4-in-1 or a 1-in-4?
Absolutely. I think I had a Zoom meeting with our heads of departments a few weeks ago. We had, I think, almost over 100 of our leaders, well over 100 of our leaders, and that was one of the key messages that we had is if we have now been forced to innovate and to do things differently, then when we get back to the new norm, whatever that looks like, we want to continue those things. So we've found out that we can do a lot of things without actually being in the office. So I like exactly what you're saying. If we can say to civil servants, you're going to work from home 2 days a week or 3 days a week or whatever that is, then that will reduce the traffic. It can reduce, people are telling me that they are saving so much money now on food and gas and all of those things because they don't have the drive all the way into town. So it's a cost saving for them as well as being more productive. The one complaint that I get is, I have worked even longer hours now that I'm at home because the work is in front of me and I could just sit there and get on with it. I don't have some of the distractions that I would normally have at work. So I'm getting emails from some of my team at 8 or 9 o'clock at night, and I'm saying, why are you working? Oh, I just wanted to finish these applications before I went to bed. So yeah. It has been really transformative to see exactly what's happening, and I take your point. We don't want to go back to where we were 3 or 4 months ago. If we have been able to innovate, if we have been able to do things differently and better and more efficient, then that must be the way forward.
Yes, sir. Now, Mr. Bothwell, respectfully, we just have a short break to take, but when we come back, could we invite you to respond to that if you wish? Okay, gentlemen, let us see if we can earn some more revenue for our government coffers. So stay tuned for Talk Today.
Honey, our fridge has stopped working again. Everything in the freezer is melting. We need to get this repaired right away. I'm calling Brand Source Service.
When you need the very best appliance service, call Brand Source Service at 623-5000. Offering service and installation of all brands and models of appliances. Brand Source Service is Cayman's source for appliance parts and repairs with qualified and experienced technicians and the island's largest stock of appliance parts. Brand Source Service will have your repair completed in a flash. So, whatever the problem is, call the experts at 623-5000. Brand Source Service, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park. Telephone 623-5000.
The public is reminded that beach access will be allowed using the last name protocols strictly for exercise, including swimming. The hours for exercise have been extended to 2 hours each day between 5:15 a.m. to 7 p.m. daily. Shoreline fishing and fishing by boat are allowed, but limited to 2 persons per boat. Strata pools can be used for swimming, and tennis courts can also be used, but are limited to members of a single household or a maximum of 2 persons with social distancing maintained. Also, public buses can operate. However, seating must be staged in such a way that each passenger is able to distance as far as possible from the other passengers and driver. All residents must wear face masks or other face coverings while taking public transportation, inside buildings or other public places. For more information and to view the new regulations in full, go to www.gov.ky/coronavirus.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners' participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome back. Thank you so much for joining us. We're honored to be able to have the company of both the Honorable Deputy Governor and the President of the Cayman Islands Civil Service Association, Mr. John Bothwell. Gentlemen, thank you again for joining us. Mr. Bothwell, as we're going to the break, perhaps you would care to share some other comments with us, sir?
Yeah, just picking up on what we were talking about before the break about the remote working and everything that so many more civil servants are doing now. And yes, it's great. I know it's something that the civil service has been working towards slowly for a time. But the challenge for everyone now is going to be evolving this situation into something sustainable. Because a lot of people, by necessity, were rushed into this situation. And now it's going to be, how do we transition out of it? That's a discussion that hopefully everybody across the civil service are all starting to have right now. One classic example was talking with an agency the other day, and a lot of their people had to take home computers from the office to keep getting the work done, which was great and very flexible by the agency. But of course, now the kind of managers looking around going, what happened to all the computer monitors in this office? And so making this kind of flexible working sustainable is going to be a big ramp-up challenge for the civil service, something we'll need. But, we can't sort of lose track of this idea that this is going to solve a lot of problems for us. It is going to be a change for the better, but still a change. And just the social challenges, so much of our society is built around the idea of families coming in at 8 o'clock, dropping the kids off at school, working through lunch, finishing at 4, and heading home with the kids. Apply whatever times you want for your family. Changing that is going to be a big shift for people. And so it's going to be a very interesting transition that we're all going to be having to help ourselves through. And it's one of the things that the Civil Service Association is looking towards is, how do our members make these evolutions and transitions to working better and working smarter in the future as the civil service itself continues a sort of world-class reinvention of how do we produce world-class service. And part of that around the world is remote working. And so it's great that we have been pushed, well, not great we've been pushed into it, but this is an opportunity now for the civil service to say, okay, we've had to move at breakneck speed without breaking our necks, thankfully, to get somewhere. How do we build upon these gains? And I think we'll see it happening, but it is going to be a very interesting evolution over the next 3 months, 3 years.
Yes, sir. Mr. Mann, sir?
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you may ask, then with all of that, and I just share this, I should sometimes I may accuse of paying too much attention to statistical analysis, but I should have done this in this case. I've got a number of people, like many of us, from the public and the private sector, who have commented that working remotely has provided a number of tangible benefits in terms of that opportunity to spend more time with the family and get exercise. But one, I don't want to say complete, but one sometimes hiccup has been and maybe I use the word wrong, but the internet connection, the bandwidth, not just in their households when they have access to, for those who've had perhaps a better package being offered by their internet service provider. From that perspective, maybe the suggestion was, as a country now, as we look at our infrastructure development, to be able to deliver, higher speed, higher quality internet, and knowing that's where we've gone. If I may look at WhatsApp that came through, another sort of concern is that some, and I'm not saying this is for the public sector, because these are private too, or these are private sector employees, they're saying that what they've found from their employers is that whereas in the office they were being sort of physically be able to see, interact with others, now that they're remote, sometimes they have a sense of being imposed pressures on their own selves to get, the 10 widgets that they would normally get done in the day, so that they can say, well, I'm still working. Are there any concerns, perhaps, either to you, Mr. Manison, or Mr. Bothwell, of that sort of stress that we impose on ourselves to make sure that we say, hey, I'm not here just hiding away idly. I am working, and just to make sure that me, be logged on, logged in, and connected.
Well, like I said, we had a training session for our top leaders. It was either last week or the week before. We had 352 of our senior leaders in the civil service, and the whole idea around that training session was to give our leaders some advice around how do you manage staff that are working remotely. How do you keep the communication lines open? How do you continue to inspire and motivate, but also hold them accountable? And the key message there was trust. You really need to trust the person to get on with their job. So, when we are in office, we're not really looking over our employees' shoulder all day, seeing that they are, doing what they're supposed to do. You sort of let them get on with it. So that same trust that you have in the office needs to translate to when people are at home. We have heard some cases of persons being sort of told that at the end of every day you need to prove to us that you've been working, and that is not something that we should be doing unless we have a real good reason for doing it. But for the most part, we just really need to trust our employees. By all means, keep in touch. By all means, ensure that the work is getting done. But trust them that they will continue to do it. And I mean, one of the benefits of it is that, if someone has to process 50 applications in a day, and they want to start work at 12 o'clock and work till 7:30 at night, then that's fine, so long that the work gets done that was assigned to them. So, again, we have all of those added benefits of people being able to work a bit more flexible when they're at home. And, some persons don't like to get up early in the morning, and some people love to work late at night. So if that can be done while producing the amount of work that is expected of you, then fine. But trust. We really need to trust our staff that they're getting on with the job. By all means, keep the tabs, but prove to them that we trust them, and I think you'll see some outstanding performance.
I agree, sir. Mr. Bothwell?
Yeah, no, Deputy Governor is absolutely right. And to pick up on what he was saying at the very start, that one of the things that he has been pushing, the civil service has been pushing for a little while now, is training and upskilling of the management systems that we use. So we know that is a big step. And one of the things that we expected at the association, and we have seen, is that anywhere where there was sort of a pre-existing problem, if you say, if you use it, between either with the management or with the staff. I mean, we get issues on all sides. So this is never a management-only problem. That has become exacerbated now when everybody's under these stresses, both emotional and practical. But the other thing we've been seeing is people saying, listen, we're having this problem. In normal times, this would be a big problem we need resolved. But we know this isn't normal. We'll wait, and we'll just keep making sure that we get the work done and worry about trying to correct things as we go or correct things later. So this is one of the things that we are seeing is people are under stress, but they are pulling together to make sure they get things done. And this then plays right into that idea of a world-class civil service that is managing people in a world-class manner, building up the trust between them, knowing that your staff and your manager is going to do the right thing, and you can trust them to do the right thing. You know, the staff can trust the manager to do the right thing by them. The manager can trust the staff is doing the right thing by their job, and it builds towards getting things done. So, yeah, it is a stressful time, but it is something that the civil service has been working towards, and this just, I think, cements that the vision of why we need to keep upgrading the way we do things. The civil service has been changing, the world has been changing. COVID has just kicked some of that change into high gear. Change is never pleasant or fun, but it's going to happen, so it's all about us making the best outcome of it.
I recognize that. Sorry, Mr. Anderson?
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah. I do recognize the time, and I know that the demands on each of you, but if there's anything else you want to share, and in particular, as we go to the next level of preparations, but I'll defer to you.
Yeah, but before I go, and again, thank you for the opportunity, and thanks to Mr. Bothwell for asking me to join in today. So we've been talking a lot about the people who are working from home, but I also want to give a lot of credit to the people who are on the front line, our essential workers who are out there every day risking their safety and the safety of their families, keeping us safe. So we have seen the police, our CBC officers, being redeployed to work with the police, our enforcement officers from work going and helping the police. We've seen our firemen being redeployed and working at the Coast Guard and working with the police. It has been a really great team effort from everyone sort of just standing up and saying, I'm here to help. How can I be part of the solution? We've had some of our HR teams become hotel managers. We've been managing isolation facilities with hundreds of people. This is not what we were trained to do, but it has been a seamless transition, not only from people going from work to at home, but then from going and doing things on the front line that is really not in their job description. So I want to give a big thanks to all of our essential workers who are out there every day, from the civil service, from the public service, the HSA, all of the agencies that have really stepped up. I mean, you saw that we produced over 1,000 test results yesterday. That didn't happen by accident. That happened by a lot of people coming together, making sure that we had all of the right equipment, making sure that the lab was set up properly, and then people in the lab, working through the weekend to make that happen. So, I really want to give a big shout out to all of us, the entire civil servants, those working at home and those on the front line. You've made us all very proud.
Well, thank you very much, sir. And Mr. Bothwell,
just to echo what the Deputy Governor said, one of the big things has been the way so many civil servants have stepped into other roles when asked. It's a huge thing. They should be very, very proud of what they've done. The country should be proud of them, as Mr. Manison said. But it's also, again, something that the civil service has been working towards, its ability to cross-train people, get people some experience in other agencies, other parts of their own ministries, to allow them then in the future to take those skills and move themselves up. So again, talking about taking the what we're having to do now, but building upon it. I hope the association hopes that we'll continue to see the civil service providing and using these sort of cross-training opportunities where civil servants are allowed to step aside of their normal type of operation, use the other skills that they have, use the skills that they've been building up in their jobs into other jobs, and to keep strengthening the civil service, the civil servants. The more that they know, the more they can do, the better they are, and then the better we can serve the country. So again, Mr. Manderson said it's one thing that the country can be proud of is how the civil servants have stepped up to all these unusual and unexpected roles, and it's something that the civil servants themselves can be proud of what they've done and what they've learned how to do on the fly is something that will see them in good state going forward.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you. So I appreciate it, gentlemen. Continue to enjoy the week, be safe and be well, and looking forward to having the opportunity to engage with you again. So blessings to you for the rest of the week.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for having us.
Most welcome, sir.
Okay.
And to our listeners, going to pause and get our headline news. When we come back, we continue in opportunities to partner with our good friends on DCFS to talk about Child Month. So stay tuned for Talk Today.
Today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman.
It's only two species that we have, on Ireland.
Generations present.
Your voice, your choice.
For today's biggest news. Access.
Local, regional, international, this is headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom team.
Today's biggest news.
The National Roads Authority and its subcontractor is currently undertaking upgrades to the pavement on Sheldon Road in Georgetown between the Jake Scott Signal and the Eastern Avenue intersection. Movement through the area will be partially restricted as the works progress. Motorists are being asked to keep watch for traffic diversions and to drive with caution to ensure safety of the work crews. Interested persons can email nra@nra.ky with questions or comments regarding this project. Good afternoon, I'm Dion Anglin with your headlines and news elsewhere. Brazil has reported more than 1,000 deaths in a single day from coronavirus. For the first time amid warnings, the outbreak is weeks away from its peak. The country has 271,628 confirmed cases, but the true number is likely to be higher because of insufficient testing. The far-right president has repeatedly played down the risks of COVID-19. And Cyclone Amphan has made violent landfall in eastern India and Bangladesh, lashing communities along the coast with ferocious wind and rain. It uprooted trees and toppled dwellings in both countries, including the major Indian city of Kolkata in West Bengal. Nearly 3 million people were evacuated, most of them in Bangladesh, before the severe storm hit. At least 5 deaths have been reported. Coronavirus restrictions have been hampering emergency and relief efforts. That's a wrap of your headlines. I'm Dion Anglin.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman for the latest in news and information.
Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, www.radiocayman.gov.ky.
Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio.
Christian Enlightenment Center is now open for deliveries. Call and order your favorite inspirational books, journals, Bibles, Bible cases, church supplies, stationery, and many other unique items. Christian Enlightenment Center, your complete Christian bookstore and more. To place your order for delivery, text or WhatsApp 923-8050 or email us at ceccenter@candw.ky. Check out our website at christianenlightenmentcenter.com. Browse items on your Facebook page by clicking Shop to view all our collections. Opening hours 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Monday to Saturday.
Social distancing is crucial for our community to get back to normal. And never before has communication been so crucial. Keeping in touch with family, friends, and up to date requires you to stay in touch. Green Turtle offers the solution for both. Download the Green Turtle app now. Top up yours or a loved one's phone with any mobile carrier in any destination in Cayman. Phones delivered to your home, and with the new rewards program, you can even redeem points towards a new phone and other products. Download the Green Turtle app today. Green Turtle is not only the future of mobile, but today it can help save a life. #Stay Home Cayman. Take a ride on the Green Turtle Express today. Download the Green Turtle app. The future of mobile, saving lives today.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners' participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome back. And thank you for joining us here on this edition of Talk Today. 949-8037 or 1-800-534, what is it, 534-8255? Come on, people, let's sing in unison. Hey, listen, it's not a scene, not being able to sit and look at, Susan as she conducts the orchestra, as it were. But we invite you to share, and we're glad as we're able to still engage you in our daily talk show, hopefully providing an extension and an opportunity for the voices in our community to be heard. We're hoping to be able to connect, with Ms. Julianne Scott, the Community Development Officer in Cayman, and Ms. Cherie Barnes as we talk about Child Month. And, sometimes Ms. Susan can send me her thoughts telepathically, and sometimes, electronically I hear the voice. So, Ms. Susan, can I join you in that conversation just for a quick second, just to make sure I don't feel so alone in this, despite the beautiful setting I may be in, still not the studio that really came on. How are you publicly, Ms. Susan? How are you?
Hey, Sterling, can you hear me? Yeah.
Yes.
I'm doing great. You?
Oh, you know me. I'm always, going to...
Always blessed, right?
And privately, I am blessed. And, you don't realize sometimes how wonderful it is to be, constantly in that mode of being thankful, so that when things transpire that are difficult, you can at least be reminded that you are, in all things, trying to be grateful, Mm-hmm. I should...
Saved by the phone. I think we've got a guest that's calling in, so let me just check that.
Yes, do that. And we are remote. It's for some of us quite easy. I believe radio is perhaps the most, interactive form, because unlike the technology today that allows you to take, because of your technology, take that device with you so you can see a video, but the radio was always and will always be accessible, and as we leverage it, but it's still that thing that you want to be able to see, touch, and engage directly. So, hey, never, sort of ignore the opportunities that are afforded to us to be a part of it. Ms. Susan, what do you think? Are you ready to connect up with our callers as we go to our phones? Good afternoon. Okay. Beautiful technology and the challenges, I believe, plays wonderfully into what both Mr. Manderson and Mr. Bothwell were sharing, that we are, it's something that we can do to improve our lives, but we should be cognizant. We being the individual affected by it, but we also being their families impacted by it, or we being the employers and the colleagues, who are part and parcel of this process, that the other member of our team may be whom, but is probably feeling a greater sense of stress. They're also feeling an anxiety because of technology. So let's try it again. Okay, good afternoon. Got our both on? All right, thank you, Ms. Susan. Good afternoon. How's everybody? Ms. Vander, is that you, Mom, that I heard?
Dwayne, good afternoon. How are you doing?
Boy, I tell you, man, when you have such wonderful people to work with, you always are enjoying it. And I also, Ms. Barnes, are you joining us as well, Mom?
Yes, sir.
All right. Boy, can you imagine, Ms. Vander, we are here, no matter we're in West Bay or in West End, whether we live, in Cayman or Grand Cayman, or we just have the jewels of Little Cayman. We're all connected, huh?
That is true. We're staying connected. Thanks, Radio Cayman.
Amen. Well, I am mindful that you all have, probably even more so now than ever, even more pressing schedules. So as we're into celebrating, Child Month,
yes, sir.
Ms. Manda, you want to kick it off with us, and then we can continue our discussion?
Sure. Just to say that we did start last week, and we kicked off with the TikTok competition with partnership through the NDC agency. We're hoping for more persons to come on board and upload their videos, their TikTok videos, to at NDC Cayman. That's on Instagram, and the deadline is today. So we need persons to go on, create their videos. There's lots of creativity and fun opportunities for everybody to do. There are lots of prizes. And we did have our Child Month opening church service on Sunday, this past Sunday, through the Agape Church. That can also be viewed online through their Facebook page. And it really was a beautiful service, and thanks also to our director, Mrs. Paulinda, who gave an opening address. We also had the family stay-at-home scavenger hunt, which was a very exciting and creative time, and Miss Shireen will be able to, no, sorry, not Shireen. We'll share more actually on that next week, but we did have a lot of families who came on board and participated in the scavenger hunt. So we look forward to being able to share a bit more information on that on our show next week. And today then, Ms. Shireen will share with us a bit more about the upcoming teen panel, which is also an annual event for our Child Month activities.
All right, looking forward to it. Please share with us.
Shireen?
Okay, so good day, everyone. The Teen Panel is a fixture on our yearly Child Month calendar. So this year, more than ever, we thought it's so important for us to hear the voices of our teens, check in on them, see how they're doing under this pandemic. For one thing, the pandemic has changed all of our lives. But you know that the teenage years is already a period of change for young people. It's a time when they're focused on their academics. They're trying to decide what they will do with their lives. When they get older, they're interested in sports, extracurricular activities, and of course, socializing. Socializing is such a big deal for teens, and now all of that has now changed because we're under the pandemic. So we forged ahead with our Child Month observation. We thought that DCFS thought that we had to do something for our children despite what was happening in the world. And the Teen Panel is definitely an avenue where we will have the opportunity to hear from our teens, to see how they're doing, and for them to express themselves and talk about their future. So we have everything planned. We're putting together a nice production. Of course, it has to be done differently this year. We usually have a live production, and we normally have an audience, and people could ask questions. We will not be able to do that this year because of the change in our lives, and everything is virtual. So we're going to have it taped or recorded, and then aired at a later date. So our scheduled date is Wednesday the 27th. We're going to be on the CI Government YouTube, as well as the DCFS YouTube and Facebook pages.
Okay. Ms. Wanda?
Yes, sir.
Okay. As Ms. Wanda was sharing, we have the three islands, and I think now with the restrictions relative to travel back and forth, any particular challenges that may present in engaging the community in the various activities for Child Month across the districts, but even across the islands?
Well, within the districts, I think simply because of having to adjust our schedules and being creative, and looking forward to using the various social media platforms has given us an opportunity to still reach out to the community, still reach out to families and teens who look forward to the activities for Child Month. In regards to our Cayman Brac and Little Cayman activities, we do have a number of activities on our calendar for Child Month in the Brac and Little Cayman, and they actually begin this weekend. On Friday, I didn't mention that we had a family games night this past weekend, and so the Brac will also be coming on board this Friday evening with doing a family games night. So what we're encouraging our families to come together in their own little family circles at home and host their family games night. Be creative in terms of what games they want to do, how they are going to do that, and share it with us. Take some pictures, send it to us so that we can upload those and share with other families throughout the various communities. And we're also looking forward to the BRAC putting on and Little Cayman doing their annual church services. And as we know, that they've lifted their restrictions, so they're able to actually congregate in their usual manner, which is a much welcoming and breath of fresh air to be able to gather once again in our places of worship there in the BRAC and Little Cayman.
Yes.
Yes, well, I'd like to add that all of our activities this year are virtual.
That is true.
So every year we usually have to send for the Cayman BRAC participants, because we never leave Cayman BRAC out, and we usually have to fly them over for teen panel. But this year, because of what's happening, everything is virtual. So we're doing it via Zoom. So the Cayman BRAC participant will join us via Zoom, as everyone else on Grand Cayman. This year, we usually try to have teens from all the high schools, but this year we thought it would be interesting now to have university students who also came in from overseas due to the pandemic, and also listen to their views as well. So that's going to be a little difference in our panel this year. But we have some bright young people, and they're ready to go.
Definitely.
Yeah, as I listen to you, I'm mindful, as you shared, that because I guess in a sense, the students are home now because of the environment we're under, but that in itself provides a blessing, because that extends its voice to those much more mature students relative to the early teens. They can give them, not just as a wonderful role model and example, but give them a little insight and guidance, and then extend the hand across the community. So another added positive that we probably can take away in the midst of all of what we're facing and fearing.
Definitely. And I'd also like to mention, the persons and organizations in the community who are constantly journeying with us, as we extend a variety of various services from the department into the communities. Those partnership with those organizations and persons and businesses, that really provide a lot of support and prizes, gifts, and surprises. Items that persons may need on a constant basis. And so we do want to say thank you, in extension from the Department of Children and Family Services to our wider community for really coming on board and constantly supporting us and being a part of the strengthened, strong backbone that we are.
Right. If I could ask, though, is in relation to, I know we would have normally evenings of readings and the like, and even activities in the schools normally, but perhaps first to Ms. Barnes, because as Poirier referenced, the restrictions of the environment in the back is just a little bit more relaxed. Just for clarity, I know we all still practicing what we've become now calling it physical distancing, recognizing how social, we are as creatures, that we don't like to be separated that much. But on the BRAC, so that we understand here in Grand Cayman, are you able to move about freely on the days? Are there restrictions? I know the press briefings are there and people informed, but just for someone who is living there daily, working and engaging and interacting with the community, what is it like? Is it life back to where you're moving about when you want, where you want, within the day? I believe the 8 p.m. to 5 a.m. charade is still engaged, but the other thing now through the day, is that how it is?
As far as we're understanding, they're still having to maintain physical distancing. Definitely, and still adhering to, precautionary measures, to enable themselves and others to be kept safe and healthy, as they go out and interact. So, despite some reduction or lifting of some of those restrictions, those very basic things are still are still there.
thanks for that. And the reason why I was asking, I was sharing this in relation to, the evenings where we have the read, whether it's, you bring and you have your nightcap and you read and you get your cookies and the bedtime stories, the little readings that we would have, and even the activities within the schools. I was wondering if that was still possible in the BRAC. Perhaps here on Grand Cayman, we would probably do it by virtual means, as it were.
And thanks for bringing that up. Also, the BRAC is doing on Tuesday the 26th, the BRAC is hosting a celebrity reading day, and they're doing that via Zoom. So the primary school children still have an opportunity to participate in that annual activity via the Zoom app. So they'll definitely be hosting that. Some of our the schools here on Grand Cayman have actually partnered and are hosting their own activities, virtual activities also. So we do have quite a bit of constant activity, which considering the restrictions, but using technology at its best to enable our children and families to still participate and enjoy the various activities and being mindful of the various restrictions.
Well, what I would add is that the Child Month calendar and DCFS approach is virtual this year.
Mm-hmm.
It's 100% virtual. So all the islands, any activities being done will be virtual this year because of the pandemic.
Yes.
And I think as I listened to you, I was just quickly looking at a comment from one of our listeners, and I messaged back just to make sure that I was following along. And I think what was being shared is that we sometimes engage our children in watching the media, whether it's a pre-recorded program or a live production or something that we have as a collection within our DVDs or whatever it is, right? I'm paraphrasing as I look at it. And this person is saying, we could now use the technology just like we do live, virtual meetings to engage the children across the different districts and read back and forth. I think that's what I said. Read back and forth, and then they can sort of virtual play, in quotation marks, is what they have here. I don't know. Is that being utilized? Is that something, what do you think?
You mean their point in terms of utilizing it more often?
More often, yes.
I think that is something that we can definitely look into, and seeing that we're going through a learning process right now. It'll definitely up our skills in some of the newer technology apps and models that are available, and so I think it could really only be of a greater benefit to us, to add something to what we already have existing.
Well, what I would add to that is that the world has changed, and now we realize that a lot can be done virtually, and we still have some impact.
Yes.
So I think going forward, we'll be happy to get back in a social setting where we're together and we can be close to each other. We still will be utilizing virtual means to get our messages out, whatever that is.
Definitely.
And so now we know that home is now the playground, the classroom, and the office, and everything has changed. So we are gradually wrapping our heads around it, getting used to it, and making it work for us the best that we can.
Well,
but the important thing, though, that I would add is that while we do spend quite a bit of time on devices, whether for school or for entertainment, that's why the exercise period is so important.
Definitely.
And that's why it's actually a part of the regulation. So while we can accomplish quite a bit by being on Zoom, learning things, talking to each other, it's so important for us to get out, get some fresh air, move our muscles. So be active and do something, even though we can't actually play a sport with a team, but play with our families, play with our children.
Definitely.
So that's something that the caller or the listener should think about. We can spend a lot of time teaching children with these new methods, but exercise, fresh air, outdoors
sunshine
is very, very important to their growth and development.
Definitely.
There is learning through play. But, there can be play while learning as well, right?
That's right.
I don't know. I was just looking at the quick sentiments here from another listener on a discussion we had last in relation to, and I referenced it only because I think it speaks to what we're talking about. This change that we're experiencing is impacting our businesses, but our homes, and in many cases in the same way, the household now with multiple computer users for working for school means that this physical space to put the computers, whatever that looks like, the internet connections, as this one has shared, and the notion that there's a lot of physical interaction, but potentially it could be conflicting, as this one shared, because everybody now is, can I read it how it's written? Hogging up the Wi-Fi. And it's not meant to, I think, I didn't take it to be any other than a realization that we're changing and we have to adapt, but we also have to be conscious that, I think as you both are sharing, that there are added pressures to our families. So if we could find a way to get outside, to interact more, to strike that balance, child month maybe just that. The activities that you form, the demands on our lives can be, such that we don't put the family's health and well-being, that playtime, as part of what the family does to improve the family's health, and mentally, physically, spiritual, and every way, right? In closing, what other thoughts would you guys want to share with us as we move continue into the month and celebrate the activities that you have on the calendar?
Right. So we'd like to encourage our listeners to really come on board with the TikTok contest that is ongoing. Go onto your Instagram accounts at NDC Cayman, upload and tag that. We definitely have the BRAC events that are upcoming starting this Friday with the Family Games Night. We do have our teen panel, and at the end of the month we do have our Talent Expo, which is also coming up on the Sunday the 31st, and the BRAC events, encouraging everyone to log on and be a part of the activities. Enjoy something new, something different. Be creative. Send us your pictures and comments and so forth so that we can share those, and we definitely like to see what is happening in the community and to also encourage everyone to be a part of the activities, and not just this month, but on a regular basis.
Indeed.
I would ask the listeners to stay tuned to our Facebook page. That's the Department of Children and Family Services Facebook page, where we update all our activities and our plans. So just stay tuned to that so you can see what happens and participate.
Thank you very much.
Thank you too, both very much, and blessings to you. Please let us know how we can continue to partner with you, to engage our communities, and to feel, let them feel a sense of being empowered. So have a wonderful rest of the week.
And you too. Thank you. Take care.
All right. Thank you. So listeners, let's pause and take a short break. When we come back, let's have some open line. Hey, who's going to call and hear the voice of Miss Susan say, welcome to Talk Today. You're next. Stay tuned. Talk Today.
Has being quarantined at home have you looking at your living space differently? Well, Tomlinson Furniture is now offering free island-wide deliveries and phone consultations to help you design a comfortable living space. For inspiration and ideas, browse the Tomlinson Furniture and Mattress Gallery Facebook page, Tomlinson Furniture Cayman on Instagram, or website at tomlinsonfurniture.ky. Open from 9:30 a.m. for phone consultations and orders. Call 949-5383. Tomlinson Furniture and the Mattress Gallery. Free delivery island-wide.
Social distancing is crucial for our community to get back to normal. And never before has communication been so crucial. Keeping in touch with family, friends, and up-to-date requires you to stay in touch. Green Turtle offers the solution for both. Download the Green Turtle app now. Top up yours or a loved one's phone with any mobile carrier in any destination in Cayman. Phones delivered to your home, and with the new rewards program, you can even redeem points towards a new phone and other products. Download the Green Turtle app today. Green Turtle is not only the future of mobile, but today. It can help save a life. Hashtag Stay Home Cayman. Take a ride on the Green Turtle Express today. Download the Green Turtle app. The future of mobile, saving lives today.
Hi, my name is Neraya LeBlanc. I am the minister and evangelist to the West Bay Church of Christ on 24 Batabano Road. I would love to take this opportunity to invite you to experience God's family at West Bay for yourself. We are a caring congregation that strongly believes in reaching out beyond ourselves to spread the gospel of Christ. We also take great pleasure in ministering to the needs of our people in our community. As God's called out kingdom people, we are in the business of transforming lives for the Master's use. For more information, you can visit our website at westbaycichurchofchrist.org or call us at 946-9294 or 917-1809.
Declaring the word of the Lord.
Cayman Islands Church of Christ presents Word of the Lord.
Word of the Lord, heard Sundays at 6:30 p.m. on Radio Cayman.
The RCIPS, National Drug Council, and Radio Cayman are reminding you to stay home, refrain from social gatherings, and having parties during soft and hard curfew. Do your part. Limit alcohol consumption or stay sober. Do not undermine your immune system and health by misusing alcohol or any other substance. Remember, we are all in this together. Stay safe, stay home, stay alive, Cayman.
Wow, looks good. What is that?
Chicken chair.
What did you just say to me?
Chicken chair.
I am not a chicken.
Whoa! I said chicken share. It's from KFC. Bucket of 12 hot wings, 6 pieces of chicken, or 8 tenders. KFC chicken share. Just $12 each.
Oh.
Want some chicken, tenders, or hot wings?
You're sharing your chicken share with me?
The new chicken share from KFC, just $12 each, and it's finger-licking good. Dine at KFC Baytown Plaza, KFC Shedden Road, or KFC at the Strand.
The public is reminded that beach access will be allowed using the last name protocols strictly for exercise, including swimming. The hours for exercise have been extended to 2 hours each day between 5:15 a.m. to 7 p.m. daily. Shoreline fishing and fishing by boat are allowed, but limited to 2 persons per boat. Strata pools can be used for swimming, and tennis courts can also be used, but are limited to members of a single household or a maximum of 2 persons with social distancing maintained. Also, public buses can operate. However, seating must be staged in such a way that each passenger is able to distance as far as possible from the other passengers and driver. All residents must wear face masks or other face coverings while taking public transportation, inside buildings or other public places. For more information and to view the new regulations in full, go to www.gov.ky/coronavirus.
Talk today.
But I do have some questions.
Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners' participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Good afternoon and welcome. Thank you for joining us. It's going to be open line. We invite you to call and share your thoughts. Susan is always available to patch you through and engage you as we invite you to share with us. 949-8037. If you're able, you're more than welcome to use the toll-free line with the kind compliments of flow. Just simply dial us on 1-800-534-8255. And you can also WhatsApp 925-3261. Now, we're just chatting about celebrating Child Month, usually during the month of May. And the theme, there are children. Today's creation, tomorrow's masterpiece. And I want to share that to ask you to consider, weighing in your thoughts and the environment our children are facing right now in this country, like many other countries across the globe. How will those children, when they grow to become parents, when they're in their 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s, and they're engaging with their children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren, their neighbors and their friends, and they look back over their experiences and their careers, what will they think of this time, and what will they say of what we, have done in order to make them what they are, we can, without question, say that our parents, our forefathers, was a solid foundation that we can now inherit a promised land. But are we doing right by them and doing their legacy justice? And equally, are we going to ensure that the mantle is passed to a people that has a great sense of safety, security, and stability, both of mind and physical and economic and social prosperity? Now, call and share your thoughts with us. 949 or either 1-800, whichever one you prefer. 949-8037 or 1-800-534-8255. And if you are or were listening to the Legislative Assembly, maybe you want to weigh in what you thought transpired. Share with us what you saw or heard, so that the rest of us can be at least engaged with your perspective. Now, the challenges that we're facing, perhaps we may not necessarily be in the same boat, but we're also experiencing similar sort of circumstances, and the seas are probably rougher for some than for others. The question that I think a number of people asked, and perhaps initially, I must confess, when I heard it, I thought, oh, okay. It did not immediately resonate. Some shared that at one of the press briefings just before last, the commissioner shared, yes, you can snorkel and swim. You can also use the paddle board and the kayak, which I think are exceptional, not just because they're good exercise, but there is probably a great way that if it's just you alone to find your mental and physical space. But even if you had someone in your house join you on the kayak, be a good way to interact. And what better way than on the water with the taste of the salt air and the smell of the sea breeze, as it were. But then the Honourable Premier, I believe, yesterday shared, paraphrasing, the Commissioner sort of got into trouble because it wasn't intended. Now, a few of you have quickly weighed in and shared with us that you can't go sailing. You can't, if you have a catboat, go into a catboat. Things that many of us would see as the traditional sort of the mode of transport and very much part of our history, our heritage, our culture. Sailing by itself, catboat specifically, but paddle board. And equally, many have asked the question, well, it's good that the exercise has been increased to 2 hours, but why limit the amount of time for that? And this is something that perhaps we who are not elite athletes or who are not necessarily as competitive or as willing to engage in exercise as some. But to give an example, the avid swimmer or the Olympic hopeful, the boxer, and the like, they may be exercising several times a day. The swimmer may not have had access to a pool, but the 7 Mile Beach is there. Why not go and be able to put in the time that would normally be required and was normally the custom prior to this? Again, perhaps not a question that I can answer, but respectfully, hopefully, I've asked it in the vein that it was shared with me. But secondly, some have said, why limit the beach to the extent that we have? And again, maybe you can help me to understand so that it's insightful, helping us to appreciate the circumstance and gives us a better understanding. One lady shared, well, to have the beach now on the same day that you have to go to the shop or to the bank makes it more difficult if you're trying to get to the beach. Who are we trying to make this convenient for? The public, for whom the mental and physical health is very, very crucial, or for the policing state that wants it to be easy to administer. And then the third thing I think that sort of struck was the number of people for whom they're working 6 days, in some cases 7, because They may have to prepare for Monday when businesses sort of reopen to the public. If they're not able to go to the beach on Sunday, why is that? Again, I'm not able to provide an answer, and hopefully the question may elicit a better response. And then, the thing is that I believe the Honorable Premier did reference that on Cayman Brac, fishing is sort of like a religion. I think he probably, also would appreciate that for many on Grand Cayman, it is the same thing. Being out on your boat, out on the water, in the North Sound in particular, is absolutely, sort of the oxygen to the lungs. It's part of your lifeblood, as what gives meaning to many, to their lives. Now, the phone lines are open if you want to weigh in with us, 949-8037 or 1-800-534-8255. But some have shared, it's said, stipulated that it's limited to 2 people who can go fishing at any one time. Now, is that, as some have said, obviously it's 2 people, it's not specific, there's 2 from the same household. Now, that perhaps is a recognition that, we are getting to a point where we can interact more and more, or an admission that, what was being deployed really wasn't effective or, making any kind of meaningful sense. But some have said, well, in my household, I have 3 people, I have 4 people, whose parents may want to take their 2 children, in their boat, which is right there at their dock. Why can't that be the case? Again, not an answer that I can provide, but maybe some of you can share it with us. 949-8037, or toll free with the compliments of Flow at 1-800-534-8255, or you can send us a WhatsApp on 925-3261 and share your thoughts with us as we invite you to be a part of all that is transpiring within our community. And certainly it's amazing the things we can do and how we are oftentimes reminded that necessity is indeed the mother of invention, and to watch our people these days having this change almost in some cases immediately pushed upon them, and being able to respond with such agility, versatility, an innovative approach, a resolve, a tenacity, sometimes with a great deal of not just a commitment, but a continuing smile in order to get it. Now, it would probably be evident to many of us that this has also brought a great deal of stress just in and of itself, because it is a change. Households may have had to reconfigure some spaces in order to ensure that people can work more sort of quietly from home, without having all of the other activities that would go on in the home at a particular time. We're going to pause and take a short break, but we're going to invite you to call and share your thoughts with us, 949-8037, or toll free with the compliments of Flow at 1-800-534-8255.
Obey the laws and wear the gauze. Protect your jaws from septic paws. Stay clean, Cayman, with hand sanitizer from $3.25. 10 surgical masks for $9.99, and 2 packs of KN95 masks for $6.99. Wholesale pricing available at all 5 Liquor for Less locations: Shedden Road, North Church Street, Savannah, Northside, and the McClendon Drive Airport location. Don't miss the incredible lockdown price markdown and manager specials exclusively at Liquor for Less. Hundreds of fine, starting from cases of ice cold below wholesale prices, and save $9 off liters. Prices so low we can't say it on the radio. Liquor for Less enforces the wearing of masks and social distancing while in store, and encourage other preventative measures to help stop the spread of COVID-19, such as consistent hand washing and only leaving home for essential purposes.
Your personal, physical, mental, and emotional health are crucial during these times. We are social creatures, and times of social isolation can seem torturous, but it is temporary, much like the growing pains of our youth. We will get through this. During these times of social distancing, do all you can to maintain your physical, mental, and emotional welfare. Your family and the community needs you to emerge strong. Hashtag stay home, Cayman.
Fidelity Bank would like to thank all essential workers. We salute your efforts and thank you for the sacrifices you've made to keep us all safe. During these challenging times we're facing, our top priority is the health and safety of the communities we serve. And while it's true that things are changing rapidly every day, one thing that will never change is our commitment to giving you the best and sound financial solutions to help you during and after the coronavirus pandemic. At Fidelity Bank, our focus will always be you. Fidelity, we're good for you.
With no vaccine, with no cure, our current solution is keeping our distance and staying at home. We stay at home to keep safe, to reduce harm to others. We stay apart while out and about, space between life and death. We keep our distance 6 feet apart because 6 feet apart is better than 6 feet below. We stay at home because it takes upwards of 40 nurses, doctors, laboratory technicians, housekeepers to care for one COVID-19 patient. Diagnosis, intubation, extubation to full recovery. 40 healthcare professionals and their families at risk while taking care of one COVID-19 patient. Breathe easy. Keep your distance. Stay home. Don't risk you. Don't risk others. This is Rotary Central saying, live to breathe, breathe to live, because breathing is everything.
Are you a Caymanian experiencing unemployment or have recently been laid off? Are you already registered with work but need to know what jobs are available or how to post job ads? Contact Work today. Call 945-9672 or toll free at 1-800-534-9672 or email worc@gov.ky. Your Radio Cayman 6 p.m. news, Monday through Friday, is brought to you by Logic, your life connected.
The public is reminded that beach access will be allowed using the last name protocols strictly for exercise, including swimming. The hours for exercise have been extended to 2 hours each day between 5:15 a.m. to 7 p.m. daily. Shoreline fishing and fishing by boat are allowed, but limited to 2 persons per boat. Strata pools can be used for swimming, and tennis courts can also be used, but are limited to members of a single household or a maximum of 2 persons with social distancing maintained. Also, public buses can operate. However, seating must be staged in such a way that each passenger is able to distance as far as possible from the other passengers and driver. All residents must wear face masks or other face coverings while taking public transportation, inside buildings or other public places. For more information and to view the new regulations in full, go to www.gov.ky/coronavirus.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners' participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome back. It is open line, 949-8037, 1-800-534-8255. Now, if you're listening, watching, or anyhow aware of what is transpiring in the Legislative Assembly, certainly get in tune with what's going on. I've not been able to do so yet. And when it resumes, I think it's important for us, especially in this time. I was trying to figure out, I guess, mostly from the academics who sort of, I guess their classes would be political science classes and like, and some of the comments that now in this time, like in other times of, whether it was during World War II or other, global issues, the political leadership has perhaps greater access to the masses, whether through the media, certainly in this time, and can get its messaging out. Whether some see that as propaganda, some see it as political maneuvering, others see it as disinformation, others may see it as very, very necessary information. There is no question, and I share that because when you look at what's transpiring, the important realization that the country has to be informed and has to ensure that its political leadership is able to access the public. Someone who is perhaps more familiar with the U.S. and the State of the Union or nation or whatever it's called over there, once a year they all assemble and applaud each other and the address is given. Not unlike we see in other jurisdictions and even copied here from time to time. Similar terminology even being employed. The political approvals may increase and the perceptions and the like. And I share that because I've had an opportunity just over the last few weeks to speak to a former professor who shared that when you look at what is transpiring now, it is so crucial that things are handled in a very clear way that is, for the public to understand as easily as possible in order not to add to any increased heightened sense of fear, nor confusion, nor the prospect that people may quickly become hopeless and despondent and withdrawn. They are already physically withdrawn from their activities, from their society, from their families and their normal social gatherings. And so with that, there would be this semblance. This is, one of those professors, perhaps who, with great intellect and experience in academia, perhaps in advising, may be able to have that luxury of time to think and to pen certain things and to read and perhaps to share. And as she was sharing, there be those who would think that it would be the best and most impactful means would be for a country to unite its public and private sector, its political parties, whether it's a two-party system or whether it's a faction or some sort of coalition. And on the face of it, she says, that sounds good, but on examination, it isn't. Simply because if you were to look at it on an individual level, and I share this with you, hopefully, as I recall what she sort of shared with us, and see what you think. She said, if on an individual level, you only surround yourself with people who agree with you, who will never question your thought process. Does that make your decision-making any better? Does that improve your leadership, improve what it is that you want to achieve? Or if you're surrounded by people who are not just opposing to oppose sake, who are not just going to be there to make it difficult, but who understands that an environment has been created where you can question things, challenge, opinions and views with a view that there is a healthy sense of respect and the shared objective is an outcome that is as beneficial to as many for as long as possible. And as she was sharing, if you could do that on the individual level, then why is it more important to do it on a public level, a political level, on a national level, so that if you have a political party system, that one, the opposition or the backbench in our case, or the others must equally be able to access the national, sort of voice through the media, the airwaves, the what have you, so that there is this continuing semblance of democracy, of its checks and balances. And then equally for the opposition, I guess, in a sense we can keep in this context, through its parliamentary process, but otherwise to challenge the government to account for what the government is doing, just like it would in an ordinary time, even though it may be extraordinary measures that are being deployed, even though there may be things that are completely, different from what was expected and anticipated. And she said that because of that specifically is why that sort of opposition, that sort of questioning needs to unfold. As I listen, I must share that I thought, well, that doesn't seem to make sense. You want people to come together in times of crisis, in times of, what do you think? Again, this is, one of those professors with great sort of, experience and knowledge. But I must share that in the last few days that I had a chance to think about it, is there, in your mind, any semblance of merit in what she was sharing? Or is it, people in academia have the luxury of time to think, and the rest of us, got to get about doing to survive? But is there merit in what she shared? That you need people to question, not so much to stand in the way and hinder, but to ask, well, what are you doing? Why are you doing it? Is what you're doing working? What is it going to cost? The financial cost, the human cost, all of these other things. Is there a better way to do it? Can you do it, in this way with that, or in that way with this? What is your thought? And I think what has been helpful is that when we are able to surround ourselves with people who are willing to challenge the thought processes, willing to challenge the actions, then that bodes well for future generations. And I thought I would share it with you because during the break, I looked at a WhatsApp message that was sent, and I had again an opportunity to look at the fact that we just had a discussion talking about child month, and we're talking about today's creation and tomorrow's masterpiece. But is that masterpiece, that child that we have sacrificed so much, the mother who perhaps had a difficult labor and delivery, or may have had such great joy and pleasure and ease, but that child that you've brought forth and you're sacrificing for a better future, not just a financial future, but a safe future, is that child going to be, sort of released into our world that is so conditioned to being told when to go and where to go, that is being put, as an example, like how we put with our pets, a tracker, a collar, or something to monitor? Or is the child be able to think freely and to act independently and to understand that you have to think critically? It may sound far-fetched, but as I listen to what the professor was sharing, I'm beginning to understand that it is incumbent on all of us to not just be committed to doing the right thing, but to do the right thing with a strong sense of commitment. Other news break before us. Why don't you take up the mantle, exhibit the courage, and be prepared to either champion what you see, challenge, what you have to do, but maybe, wave the flag and sing from the same hymnal and sip of the same tea. Well, 949-8037 or 1-800-534-8255. Let's pause, take a break, get our news, and call to share us. See if it works for you. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
Radio Cayman, maintaining the innovation.
On a daily basis, making it easy to connect with you, our listeners. Add us to WhatsApp today, 925-3261. That's 925-3261.
Radio Cayman.
Send a text or voice note.
Can I send a request, please?
You don't really have to ask us. Just send a request.
This is a shout out to my ex.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
Radio Cayman, maintaining the innovation.
From district to district, moving through the waters to Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. Your station, your voice. All things Cayman. One radio, many people. This is home.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
Your 2 p.m. headlines brought to you by greenturtle.ky. Take a ride on the Green Turtle Express today. Download the Green Turtle app, the future of mobile, saving lives today.
Today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman.
It's only 2 species that we have, on the planet.
Generations present.
Your voice, your choice. For today's biggest news.
Access.
Local, regional, international, this is headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom team.
Today's biggest news.
A small fire at the Georgetown landfill this morning has been brought under control by teams from Fire Service and Department of Environmental Health. Crews are working to excavate and damp down the site. Their aim is to fully extinguish the fire and minimize risk of reignition. More information will be shared as available. Good afternoon, I'm Dion Anglin with your headlines and news elsewhere. About 10,000 residents have been evacuated in the U.S. state of Michigan after 2 dams breached following days of heavy rain, officials say. The National Weather Service issued a flash flood emergency for areas near the Tittabawassee River after the Edenville and Sanford dams failed. Parts of Midland, a city some 140 miles of Detroit, could be under 9 feet of water, authorities said. And a Toronto teenager has become the first Canadian ever charged with carrying out an incel-inspired terror attack. The 17-year-old boy is accused of fatally stabbing a woman in February. A 2018 attack in Toronto that killed 10 was also allegedly inspired by the ideology, but the accused in that case was not charged with terrorism. That's a wrap of your headlines. I'm Dion Anglin.
Your 2 p.m. headlines brought to you by greenturtle.ky. Take a ride on the Green Turtle Express today. Download the Green Turtle app, the future of mobile, saving lives today.
Social distancing is crucial for our community to get back to normal. And never before has communication been so crucial. Keeping in touch with family, friends, and up-to-date requires you to stay in touch. Green Turtle offers the solution for both. Download the Green Turtle app now. Top up yours or a loved one's phone with any mobile carrier in any destination in Cayman. Phones delivered to your home, and with the new rewards program, you can even redeem points towards a new phone and other products. Download the Green Turtle app today. Green Turtle is not only the future of mobile, but today it can help save a life. Hashtag Stay Home Cayman. Take a ride on the Green Turtle Express today. Download the Green Turtle app, the future of mobile, saving lives today.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman for the latest in news and information.
Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, www.radiocayman.gov.ky.
Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio.
Social distancing is crucial for our community to get back to normal. And never before has communication been so crucial. Keeping in touch with family, friends, and up-to-date requires you to stay in touch. Green Turtle offers the solution for both. Download the Green Turtle app now. Top up yours or a loved one's phone with any mobile carrier in any destination in Cayman. Phones delivered to your home, and with the new rewards program, you can even redeem points towards a new phone and other products. Download the Green Turtle app today. Green Turtle is not only the future of mobile, but today it can help save a life. Hashtag Stay Home Cayman. Take a ride on the Green Turtle Express today. Download the Green Turtle app, the future of mobile, saving lives today.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners' participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome back. Thank you so much for joining us. It's open line. There is no press briefing slated for today. As we were sharing, the Legislative Assembly is in session. I think they're on lunch break. I'm not able to watch it. Sometimes it seems easier to do multiple things at the same time. Not saying that it's as efficient or as effective. Some are certainly better at it than others. For me, I focus on this, and then later I can focus on that. But we want you to share your thoughts with us at 949-8037, 949-8037. Or you can call us toll-free with the kind compliments of Flo at 1-800-534-8255. Now, a couple of sentiments expressed on our WhatsApp. And if you want to share your thoughts, you can either record a voice note, or you can call, fellows text it in, type it in, whatever that's called, to 925-3261. Our WhatsApp is 925-3261. This listener shared this sentiment on our WhatsApp regarding testing, saying that testing should be done also for the domestic helpers and the nannies and the caregivers and the like, not only for those who are taking care of the elderly. Now, we know that as we move to a phased opening of the construction and development sector, our premier indicated that there will be, up to some 9,000, I think was his first press briefing. We now seen it revised down to 8,000. Whatever the number is, so we test more, and then we're seeing, hundreds, yesterday 1,000 plus tests for the holiday weekend. Your perspective, as we increase tests, like this caller, let's test more people. What is your view on testing? And as Dr. Lee, the Chief Medical Officer, reminded us on Thursday last, the test is for then and there. Your test doesn't mean that you're immune. It doesn't mean you don't have it, or you didn't have it, or you won't get it. Pray that's the case. But if it's a negative test, it means that right there it's not registering. You could interact with someone thereafter and get it. It could be in your system and not registering just yet. I believe it was yesterday that His Excellency shared that one of the military advisors had a weak positive test. Didn't quite sure how to interpret that, and then it did a return as a negative, but they have them all quarantined, I believe, going forward. But again, as we test more and as more people are out working, as the different sectors sort of come back to life, what is your semblance of this whole thing? Give us a perspective. 949-8037 or 1-800-534-8255. And then, as a lot of people are sharing, we are looking at the whole scenario of where this whole thing may take us and what we will look like on the other side of it. And a few bullet points and sentiments by some of our listeners says, as we celebrate Child Month, we all need to be focused on the future of our children right now. What about the children, that will starve, potential, or at least be deprived of clothing, the creature comforts, the housing, when this lockdown is finally over. But their parents don't have jobs, they don't have a work to return to because the businesses are closed, or they're all, without income. Are we thinking about that? Says perhaps schooling can be postponed for a year or so. And that in itself would not be as serious as a social impact on the lives of our children as potential of poverty and all the antecedent consequences that would arise therefrom. So all those things will have even more of an impact on our children, especially here where we've all enjoyed a relatively higher standard of living for these past decades. Are our children prepared or conditioned to deal with this new reality, should it be the case? What about the mental health implications for not just the children, but our parents? Who is thinking of this? Say there are going to be, thousands potentially, otherwise proud, hard-working Caymanians who don't like, nor want, nor asking for handouts, but who are, our potential will be truly struggling, and their children will suffer after this. What about them? Who's thinking about them? Is anyone in government, even giving a moment's thought to this? If so, Are they sharing their concerns, their plans? Now we are all, focused on the economics, the surplus that we have, and the financial wherewithal to allow us to weather the storm. So this is not Hurricane Ivan and the resilience that we need. There isn't any insurance coverage. This isn't a community that can easily recover after this. The joblessness, the poverty, how will it all work? The defaults on mortgages and car loans, the potential for this to be snowballing. What in the future will it look like for those who lost their homes and their incomes? People will lose livelihoods from their pensions, their cars, their jobs, their homes, their comforts, their family, even their dignity. Will we see plummeting property values? Those that perhaps have the means may see this as an economic windfall and buy up properties for pennies on the dollar. Now, says there is much banter about the recovery fund and its donations from those who are able to feel. But to what extent will this take us forward, and what price are we paying for that? You have to be mindful, this writer reads, that we're going to see an island, potentially mostly owned and completely controlled by a generous few that either have got where they got because of their influence over government and its minions. Do we want an island where the elite will continue to thrive in their gated communities and high-rise condos, and the rest of the country live in squalor, in shanty towns, in reservations? Says, perhaps as I look at this reading, what is your thought on what we're sharing here? Any thoughts? 949-8037 or 1-800-534-8255. And as you look at what is transpiring, do you feel optimistic and hopeful? Are you, like many of us, very positive and looking forward down the road, to being able to very soon, once again, unite with friends and family and to play? Now, will, as the Honourable Deputy Governor was sort of sharing, will the way we work improve so that it's not only more efficient, we can deliver more, faster, better, cheaper, but it will allow us to recognize two things. So we need to get a better balance between our work and our other aspects of our lives so families can have meals together. They can go and exercise together. They can socialize together. But likewise, we don't have to be, sort of standing by our desk all day. Let's go to our phones. Good afternoon and welcome. Thank you for calling. Well, good afternoon.
Sorry, Graham. Good afternoon. Just fine, thank you.
Always a pleasure to hear from you, sir.
Also to hear you there on Mr. Singh did a wonderful job. I only managed to listen to very little of.
Yeah, okay. Well,
I just tuned in now.
Yes,
I'd like to say something here with regard to that. Yes, we will be opening up back all our sectors of business, just over a period of time, because we have to slowly open up as we deal with the realities of what's happening. And as we realize that we will have to open up back, that's the only way our economy can function, because we manufacture really very little, and our main money comes in here from somewhere else. It's as simple as that. We won't go into the different aspects of it. But we have to realize that our system that we have been operating under for the last 20 years, 22 years, but we have changed our way of life from nearly 50 years ago, easily 50 years ago. We have changed. It started a little bit before that, but completely. We have changed our concept here. As you just said, the elite and so forth. Our idea was, and many of our elected representatives had agreed with that then, Mr. Jim Barton, I won't go into all that, my cousin, that to entice the high-end people here, the wealthy investors and so forth that could build the condos and everything here, and then, we would get a sort of trickle-down effect from it. But Mr. Jim also had other ideas. It was about promoting little businesses. I remember vividly in conversations with him that we would, start manufacturing little things, like putting together, different things, the appliances, whatever. And I remember particularly talked about that some 40-odd years ago to me, because he was afraid that the financial world, it's lucrative for a few. Let's put it that way. And then the big investors, because they're investing their money here. There's no corporate taxes and things like that. And the people who run it have become very wealthy. We know that. We have seen that. People coming here and getting very, very wealthy and becoming a part of the system, a part of the society and so forth. But we can now reorganize things. We realize that we cannot depend only, I've said this for years, and I've belabored the point to where it's like a broken record, Black Arthur's thing. You know who I'm talking about. Yeah. A broken record, sir, as he told the judge. That we have to implement some form of direct income tax. That these people who are making these enormous salaries are paying their fair share. It's so simple. We will have a system whereby we do away with mandatory pensions paying to private companies for 85% of the people who are employed by private companies here. And then we do away with the mandatory health insurance paid to private companies again. And it's just not working. So do away with those things. This is a chance now. We can do that and reorganize and have a national health scheme, just like other countries do. All through Europe has it, Canada has it, and where you pay a certain amount of your salary to the government. And it's a small amount when you work it out for those countries. And because most people will not be sick at any one time. So they will not be utilizing it. Insurance is a gamble, as we all know. That's what it's based upon, risk.
Before we, oh, sorry. I was going to ask you, I know we have a break, and I was going to ask you if you have time to continue after the break. But I want to ask you, as you talk about taxes, what is your view in relation to a land tax? Are you able to hang on for us, and we can take the break, and then we can talk more about it?
I'm willing to hang on for that, but I'm against that.
Yes, sir. Okay, well, let's join you after the break to our listeners. Stay tuned, and then we'll come back after the break.
At Seaboard Marine, customers often ask us questions about their shipments.
I have various items coming from different suppliers that I need to ship to Cayman. Do you offer consolidation?
Yes. Seaboard Marine offers consolidation for full and less than container loads. We can hold your packages at our Miami warehouse until everything arrives and ship it all in one go. And we have the best rates to Grand Cayman. Visit seaboardmarine.com for more information.
Shipping shore to shore, Seaboard.
During these challenging times, it can be easy to lose sight of all that we have to be grateful for. As the world grapples with the effects of COVID-19, at the forefront of the fight are the many frontline workers diligently ensuring the continuity of our islands. From the police service, members of the National Emergency Operations Center, healthcare workers, the DEH, grocery and pharmacy attendants, and so many more. Along with the daily conch call at 6:59 p.m., Radio Cayman invites the community to call in to talk today, every Friday, for Frontline Fridays. Share your stories and experiences and let us as a community start the gratitude trend to the many people putting their lives on the front line. Whether you have a family member on the front line and wish to give them a shout out, or if you have a personal experience of Cayman kindness, we want to hear from you. Frontline Fridays, every Friday on Talk Today.
Are you finding that your young child is anxious? Coping with COVID-19 related stress can be harder for children as they have less experience of facing big challenges. Signs that your child may need emotional support can include frequent crying or irritation, toileting accidents or bedwetting, changes in sleeping habits and appetite, frequent arguing or fighting with others, and increased physical ailments such as unexplained illnesses. For free and confidential support, call the Mental Health Helpline weekdays from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. at 1-800-534-MIND. That's 1-800-534-6463.
The public is reminded that beach access will be allowed using the last name protocols strictly for exercise, including swimming. The hours for exercise have been extended to 2 hours each day between 5:15 a.m. to 7 p.m. daily. Shoreline fishing and fishing by boat are allowed, but limited to 2 persons per boat. Strata pools can be used for swimming, and tennis courts can also be used, but are limited to members of a single household or a maximum of 2 persons with social distancing maintained. Also, public buses can operate. However, seating must be staged in such a way that each passenger is able to distance as far as possible from the other passengers and driver. All residents must wear face masks or other face coverings while taking public transportation, inside buildings or other public places. For more information and to view the new regulations in full, go to www.gov.ky/coronavirus.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners' participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome back. Thank you for joining us as we invite you to be part of the discussion. Very grateful, Mr. Mickle, for hanging on. So, are you still there?
Yes, I'm right here, Sterling Dwayne. It's
Thank
very
you,
simple. What I'm talking about is very simple.
Mm-hmm.
It's a salary-based taxation system, something similar to what Bermuda has, because they're very identical in their nature of economy. Their world is very similar to ours, the financial world and the tourism. They manufacture very little, so do we. We do manufacture some beers and some liquor and some rum cakes and so forth, and glory be, and I'm so thankful for those people involved in that and hope it progresses further on. We hope even agriculture progress to a point where we used to export cattle some time ago, a long time ago. We used to export some cattle to even Cuba and Jamaica, I believe. But that put that back. The point I'm talking about is this. We have a system that consumption-based only isn't very fair. It's easy to realize that. We should have people, most societies, any society is built upon its workers. It's workers. Most people will be working at any one time. That's why they say your unemployment rate is 4% and people get worried, or 5%. That means 95% of the people are working who are of working eligibility. So therefore, those people, their taxes from their salaries, which if you take it in a fair share, say 2% or something, it will amount to an incredible amount of money, especially here. But people have to understand that it is, if you say mandatory, then you have made it a crime if you don't pay into the pension system, to the private pension system, or you don't pay into the health insurance system. Most of the people are paying into that. 85% of people are employed by the private sector. It hasn't worked out because they still have to pay a certain amount of money, 20% of a $6 an hour person's salary for $100. That's a good bit of change, $20.
Yes,
That's a lot of money. We have to come to that realization it's not working. If it's mandatory, pay to the government. All these years, pay to the government like it is in every other country, anything mandatory. So therefore, we could accumulate quite a bit of money. There are a lot of people here, well, let's not say a lot, but quite a bit of people earning incredible salaries. We all know this now. It's all out there in the wash hanging out. People know it, and people know who they are, and glory be to them also. But the point is they must pay a price for that. So if everyone is paying, say, 2% of their salaries towards education, 2%, 2.5% towards health, 2% towards unemployment compensation plan, which would include a pension and so forth, then you'd see there would be a lot of money in the government coffers to cover these health problems that they now have to cover for people, and the NAU and so forth. Just think about it. For the last 22 years, if we had been putting just $1 a day for each person working in an unemployment compensation, which is what the rest of the world has, who pays income tax. Trust me, I've worked in 3 countries that paid it. That would be there for the government. Think of how much millions of dollars would have just $1 a day from each person. But you would have it as a portion of each person's salary. You wouldn't expect a little man below a certain amount of money. You would not pay anything, just as it's done. But above a certain amount of money, you would pay. You can work it out. Mr. McKeever Bush had presented a plan to people, and it was shouted down as Nazism and everything, incredible, by people who should know better to torment that. And it was, to my mind, a very, very good plan. We could tweak it and work it out and do this. But I'm thinking this is the way to move forward. We cannot continue with this health insurance scheme that they have for the private sector. It's just going to cost the government a lot of money to take care of people who their little insurance policies, the SHIC plan or whatever it is, that razor blade company they've called it off. That it just isn't working. and so forth. And that's the majority. And the government has to take up the slack. And it's other people's taxes, the same old thing. So if every person was to pay into it that small amount of income tax, and if you want to have health insurance like every other country has, you buy it on your own if you can afford it. They have that. And also the same thing with the pensions. If you want to continue with a pension, it's voluntary, go ahead. But you will pay a certain amount of money to the government, just an incredibly small amount with everyone. You'd be amazed how much money would have been in there or will be in there from now on if we try to adopt this kind of system. I've always believed in it, and I will never accept any other way out of this. It may cost me my job for saying this, but I do not care anymore. At my age, I think we need to think about this and move forward. Money should be in the hands of the government because they have, as we have seen what has happened and transpired over the last 3 months, the government has to take up the slack. So let us put the money in the hands of the government. That's what they're there for. They have the machinery to take care of it. They have the machinery to watch over it. Let's not put it in the hands of the private sector because everybody there is looking to make some money. It doesn't matter who it is. They're there to make money. That's what it's all about, the business world. Let us put that money in the people's hands, the government's hands. Let them take care of it. Let them move forward with it. Let them do the job, and we can monitor them. We can know they have to answer to us by the 19 people elected by us to be answerable to us. They will have to tell you how that money is spent. They will have to come forward and say, this is where it went, this is how it is. So let us put that money that's mandatory into the hands of the government. It is so simple that it's incredible to me that people oppose this. It's just very incredible.
Yes,
anyway, I won't hold up your time, Sterling Dwayne, and carry on. People will be there to belabor me and to criticize me, but I stand by what I say. Let us implement immediately, and I hope the governor will do so, and that will say we must go forward with this. Some sort of direct income tax that the government controls those funds.
All right. Well, Mr. Vickers, thank you, sir. And thank you for your continued passion, conviction, and willingness to share with us publicly. Have a wonderful rest of the weekend, obviously. Stay safe. To the rest of you, join us tomorrow. Get a chance to start off our conversation with our friends over at Fidelity to talk about pensions. And then, you heard him as one of the hosts on Money Sense. Mr. Simon Cordray will join us tomorrow. Get a chance to chat with him. Until then, my good friends, be blessed.
Talk Today is brought to you by Fidelity Bank. For all your banking needs, visit fidelitygroup.com. Fidelity, we're good for you.
Also brought to you by greenturtle.ky. Take a ride on the Green Turtle Express today. Download the Green Turtle app. The future of mobile, saving lives today.